Dude, that actually is such a big
all it
part
is.
of this.
That's all it is. Most people just don't really care that much at the end of the day. They're going to pick their family over it 9 times out of 10.
I think I was talking to maybe Ben about this.
Startups, and by the way, this is why people don't trust startup founders and stuff like that. People don't trust startup founders because people think it's weird to care about your company as if it's your dharma. Now, if you're a founder, you have to, and often you
want to hire people who are the same.
Yeah.
But you're hiring them from a pool of people who are explicitly incentivized to extract value from your company.
Exactly. Right. Now, I have no...
We're not live, are we? Oh, you're recording.
No.
Stop with it.
Stop with it.
Stop with it. We're in the middle of it.
We're in the middle of it. We're in the
We've
thick
been
of it. I
talking.
hope he did a sick fade in. We're talking about... Well,
we'll
I
just
was
keep
talking
going.
about...
He'll cut
I
it.
was talking
He'll cut
about... Cut it.
He'll cut it up so that they get that context.
Oh, that's so sick.
Or maybe they just drop in Medias Res. The people are okay with that.
People are okay with that.
People are very good at picking up on context.
It's true. Yeah, people don't trust... Okay, check it out, right? So I was thinking recently about the relationship between like how people work and what they're working on and how their effort is perceived as mattering. So I was watching this YouTuber.
Yes.
We'll drop him. You can check out his page right here. I don't know what his name is. But this YouTuber, basically what he does is he goes and he lives in Japan and he watches he'll hang out with a Japanese person all day, 24 hours or whatever, a full day.
Spencer knows.
Spencer knows. Yeah, Paulo in Japan. Yeah, that guy, right?
Nice.
Yeah, and he's and he does he's this is what this guy does all day. So it's it's day in the life of a salaryman in Japan. Day in the life of a cosplayer, streamer, whatever. Day in the life of, and I know, anyway, there were 2 videos where he hung out with someone where that person basically had to work early morning till late night. And it was a Japanese salaryman working at some corporate company and a ramen chef.
Cool.
And both of them had to wake up at 6
In the same episode, side by side, or two different episodes?
2 different episodes. Ramen chef wakes up at 6, has to go prep everything, has to go whatever, get the ingredients, start, and then he doesn't leave the store until 9 p.m. or so because he's got to after the customers are leaving, he has to blah blah. Same way the salaryman wakes up at 6, goes to his company, works this shitty job or whatever until he goes to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that in the YouTube comments, which you might be able to predict, most of the YouTube comments in the salaryman video are damn, this guy's got it tough. Damn, Japanese corporate life sucks.
Kibishi, dude.
Yeah, the Kibishi, dude. Most of the comments on the ramen video are not like that, actually. Most of the comments in the ramen video are wow, you gotta respect the dedication of the craft.
The dedication.
You gotta love,
yes.
The way when they were making comments about Japanese society, it would be wow, you gotta love the way the Japanese really, take their, take
their thing seriously.
Take their thing seriously, right? And I was huh, why is that? People don't say that kind of shit.
Very interesting question.
Right?
Yeah.
People don't say those sorts of things about people that work at companies. No one's wow, you got to really respect the dedication to. And
well, yeah, what were your thoughts about that?
Well, I thought about it a little bit. I think there's a couple things going on. I think one of them I just touched on, which is I think people that work at, people don't trust. I think, okay, so people, I've always said that, so we've been watching a lot of Dr. K, right? We talk about Dharma.
Link right there. Oh, that way? All right, link's that way.
Oh, it's over there, as it turns out. We talk about Dharma, right? It's like reason for what
your duty or your purpose.
Raison d'être.
Yeah.
Really nice, right?
Yeah.
And I think money is a term I came up with that I'm very proud of. I think money is like a proxy Dharma. So if you don't have a Dharma, you don't know what your Dharma is because you haven't fleshed it out.
Dude.
What do people tend to default to? They tend to default to doing things for money. Mm-hmm. Right? And I think that comes across as being very inauthentic to other people.
Yeah.
So if you see someone who's hustling super hard and really all they're doing is getting a bunch of money, I think people are very good at sniffing that out.
Yeah, they are.
Which is why we don't have faith, we don't trust. Dude. You see this in Empire Arcadia.
You're so right.
Sorry.
Edit
that out if you want. Right? But people coming into the Smash community.
There were questions. There were legitimate questions.
There are legitimate questions, right? There's legitimate questions. People coming into the Smash community and basically it's what does this guy really want out of the Smash community? There were questions about Beyond the Summit's authenticity in the early days.
That's
where it was
right.
Are these guys going to stick? Well, they did stick around. Thank you.
Thank you,
Ken,
Summit.
Slime.
Thank you, Summit. Yeah.
Summit. Charles. And
it was skepticism up front, but we found reason to trust, right? I mean, we saw them invest.
Right.
If they were only in it for money, they wouldn't be investing.
Right.
They'd be taking no risks and they would be extracting.
And so at this point, they asked for a bunch of money, but like people kind of, they don't really.
It's worth
complain
it,
about
right?
Anymore because it feels like there's an
It's
actual.
fun.
It's fun. Yeah. We're getting something out of it.
I have to imagine that people would not be spending money if it wasn't worth it because we all know what it is now. It's been like 8 times, 9 times.
8 times, 9 times, yeah. More.
So I mean, if we hated it, we would vote with our. I believe that that's true. Probably it's not the perfect thing. Some people probably don't feel great about it, but overall,
at least there's some nuance there. I've gotten better at pronouncing that word.
Yeah, you crushed it.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyway, continue.
Well, I mean, I pretty much got to the end of it, but all of this was to make the point that I think people are good at sniffing out inauthenticity. Doing things for money comes across as inauthentic. And we were talking about the nature of communities versus companies and how communities operate where it's like, like the Melee community. The Melee community is clearly, we're not in it for money. We just love Melee. Companies have a duty, if not to their investors, to make a bunch of money. So
there's a tension. Let me pause. So I want to tie it.
Please do.
Let me repeat what I'm hearing back.
Eat my delicious yogurt.
I love and believe that people are great at sniffing out intention, the intention of others. We can sniff it out. In fact, I believe that the best instrument available, a supercomputer, for determining what a human's real intention is another human being who knows them really well. Sometimes I think, all right, I'm not going to get too political, but you remember Brett Kavanaugh on the stand? You get one of his closest homies who's got no incentive to lie and have one of his closest homies has a question and they will know for a fact whether he's lying or not. You can't lie to your closest homie. They know your tells. I can't lie to you. I don't think you can lie to me. I would be like, dude, Toph's acting weird.
Except in Mafia, I guess. But,
I think that the problem with Mafia is that we don't, no one knows if you're Mafia when you're saying I'm acting weird.
Right,
but if they knew you were a town for sure, I would trust you.
Right.
Because if you said, no, I think Scar's acting weird, I would be like, Toph, I understand that you think I'm acting weird, and I would explain myself as best as I could. And every time I'm Mafia, you're like,
oh, it's so painful.
You're like, it kind of makes sense, but I really think Bobby's Mafia right now. But if I'm town, I'll be like, Toph, this is what's really going on. You'll be like, okay, I think Bobby's telling the truth. That's how you say it. You don't say, I know for a fact. You say, my analysis is that I think that he's telling the truth right now.
Because you don't know. But the cool thing about real life is we know. I know you're not Mafia in real life, right?
I'm not. I'm town.
You're town. I have to give you that benefit of the doubt. So therefore, in real life...
We could go deep on that topic, though.
Maybe we'll.
So humans are really good at sniffing out intention. When people say what they're doing is not the reason why they're doing it, or if there's competing intentions, it feels a little bit weird. It's a little inauthentic. So the ramen homie, he can say straight up, I'm doing it for the craft. And we believe him because you see his actions, and it's probably true.
Right.
Also, it is true in real life because if the ramen shop goes under, he's got real problems. So he needs to care about the ramen because that's the only thing that helps the shop survive.
Yeah.
For the salary man, that's not true.
That's not true. Even if he said it wouldn't be true. And he probably
he is in it for the money.
He is in it for the money.
Where's the and I think that there's something about meaning there too. It's like if you don't have a higher purpose other than just money, is it meaningful or are you just jumping through hoops?
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that you're bringing up is okay, there's startup founders. Mm-hmm. They have to treat their startup like the ramen shop.
Like the ramen shop, yeah.
And they want to hire other people who are ramen shop lovers.
That's right.
But the pool available of people you can hire from are all people of salarymen.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's like at the very, very start, there's this problem for companies.
Yeah.
There's this problem at the very start. Meanwhile, you've got Melee. There's not a lot of money here, I got to tell you.
Right.
And it's kind of hard to get good. And even when you get good, you probably won't even be that happy.
All of us are ramen shop owners. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's yeah.
It's hard. You got to wake up at 6 a.m. You don't have to wake up at 6 a.m., but that's the analogy.
Yeah.
We're all ramen shop owners.
You got to put in your time.
Yeah.
You got to practice your L cancels.
Yes.
I remember doing it myself. We all did it.
We all did it.
Isn't that interesting?
Sometimes I do it.
It's straight out the gate. It's so different. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Scar and Toph Show. This is what we do here.
It is.
Is this Scar and Toph Show? Is this a Toph and Scar show featuring Scar and Toph? What are we doing here?
I like
featuring Toph and Scar? Is it the Reeds?
Yeah. Doesn't it all kind of blend together at a certain point? If it's me and you, it's both.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that. We might get some net play going. We're experimenting with a different format.
We just want to talk, man.
And it's not even really a different format.
It's not.
It's really a hearkening to the days of old.
That's right.
We heard you loud and clear. We got together with Atriog and we filmed the Scar and Toph show segment where we just kind of talked about stuff. You guys really liked it. Some of you came up to us at Genesis and told us how you felt.
Yeah.
So we're gonna experiment with a little more of this.
And you know what else? I feel that this brings me joy.
Yeah.
Doing this, I feel so happy.
I feel so happy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With the reads, I feel happy too, but I find that it's difficult
I feel
to...
conditionally happy. I only feel happy if I'm winning.
It's difficult, man.
That's difficult.
And sometimes I'm not really clear on what I'm trying to accomplish. But when I'm here, I know what I'm trying to accomplish. I'm trying to talk to you directly. I want you to know the past of the game. I want you to know the legacy. I want to bring you in. I want you to be hanging out with us.
That's right.
I want you to feel like next tournament you're watching, you know?
Yeah.
You're in.
You're in.
You know what I mean? You shouldn't need much. For me, so we're the ramen shop owners for Melee, right?
Yep.
How great is it to have one more person like interested and invested? It's wonderful. I don't need anything from the people. I honestly don't. All I need is for them to give a shit. And if you don't, it's no big deal. Just don't. But if you do, then you're meaningful to me. That's how I feel. So that's what I'm doing here. And on that note, one thing that we talked about, Toph, is we have a little bit of work to do with. We need to be historians for a little bit. We need to look at what's happened since 13, and we need to retell the history of Melee, the mythology of Melee. We need to be the bards of Melee. We need to tell people about the current era. And I feel, you brought this up. We've got, there are some videos that come out, people talk about Melee, and everybody's talking about the era of the gods. It's so perfectly branded. It's stuck.
Thank you, Scar, by the way.
Thank you, FGC, by the way. Thank you, Seth Killian, for bringing it up. One random Evo that I happened to be watching. It's like, the 5 Gods of Fighting games.
That sounds really cool, yeah.
I was like, dog, that sounds so fucking sick.
It sounds so sick.
I was like, dude, the 5 Gods of Japanese fighting games, we need one of those.
We need
one
one
of those. And then it was
those.
just like,
It's actually better.
Holy shit, there's 5 of them.
There's 5 of them.
Right, we just stole it.
We stole it.
But-
it's actually better for Melee.
It's really good for Melee.
The
5 Gods of Melee, dude.
5 Gods of Melee.
But we haven't quite put what's happened since into a similar perspective that's relatable and
also so tightly packaged, right? Like,
yeah.
I want to reconcile that with what Mango said. And Mango said to us at Buddha Bar, all of the Melee basically up until 2020 has just been to get us to this point. So Mango's actually very big about this. If you watch his streams, Mango actually rags on viewers for being too wrapped up in the mythology and in the past. Rightfully so, right? People come to Mango's channel because he has this legacy and this mythos, but if you're the viewer, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But if you're Mango and you're at the top, you can't. Mango's also doing the right thing. He can't rest on his laurels. Mango can't say, "I'm one of the 5 gods. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to collect my,
my paycheck."
Right? He's got to keep innovating. He's got to keep staying relevant. Right? There's new guys that are coming to the forefront, like Zane.
That's true.
Right? So for Mango's like, well, we need to de-romanticize, and I need to stay current.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
dude, it's so hard. We could go in a totally different direction on that topic, but you keep going.
Well, what I want to do is I want to think about, and I think this is tough because I think Melee was going through like hypergrowth during the Doc years, the Evo years.
13 and 14,
13, 14. Now 2019, 2020, we're not like...
We're kind of stable.
We're kind of stable. We're kind of steady state. And I kind of wonder how much of that is because we were, with the 5 Gods thing, we were so good.
Yeah.
We were so good at packaging the narrative.
Yeah.
And I want to figure out if there's a way we can do that in an authentic manner for the modern day.
Yeah. You gotta imagine that the hypergrowth, it was beautiful.
I think we're off to a good start with your commentary on Zane's sets at Genesis.
I think Zane served it up for us.
I think he served it up for us. But
and in retrospect, I was thinking one of the things that, well, I'm glad it didn't come to pass, but I think what's true is that I have this feeling, oh my God, I want to talk about Zane with you. Maybe not this 30 minutes. We're going to talk about Zane at some point. But one of the things that I felt was that he was going into that Hungry Box fight looking for a knockout in the 7th round.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If that was going to go all the way, if that was going to go to the last round, how many rounds are there? 9, 10, 12?
What, in boxing?
Boxing. Oh, fuck. Spencer, how many rounds are there in boxing?
Spencer knows.
Damn, dude, I watched so much Rocky and like
Oh, Spencer gave us a laptop that we could use to look things up, so that was really nice of him to do that. Spencer, I like this lamp that you set up.
12. I said that was one of the ones that I said.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, go ahead.
If it went to the 12th round,
12th round.
Hungry Box wins by decision for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like if that set got reset, I feel like Zane's game plan is to just play really well and win. Like there's no, I feel like he doesn't think that he has the stamina to go the second set. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not pacing himself for that. He's pacing himself to win in set 1.
Yeah.
And I think that's the right strategy.
I think it's the right call.
But it's just interesting, and I didn't bring it up when we were commentating. Probably would have deflated things, actually. So, I mean, it was smart to not say that. Anyway.
A little behind the scenes for you guys.
Zane helped us out. Yeah, we've got a beautiful story to tell. Really. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you got to think 2013, the documentary, Spirit Bomb, hit at the same time. And then we had so many tournaments that were so good. You know, the Mango Armada rivalry was back and forth. Like, there was just... In that time period, the Melee was really good. The story was really good, and the documentary was spreading, and it was bringing people in.
Right.
So maybe a part of it is, the documentary. We need a top of funnel somewhere.
Yeah. Top of funnel.
We need some way to kind of let people know that we're alive. You know what I mean? They need to get a whiff.
A whiff.
You know what I mean?
A whiff.
And then once they come in, they need a nice story.
I like that.
We could do that. So that's the job that I feel like we could spend some time on that today.
There we go.
We're going into Summit. Who is going to be at Summit? Can you tell me? Who are the Summit competitors?
Weird. Wait, what are they going to watch this? Are they going to watch this on Monday? I hope they.
I think they're going to watch it before Summit. Yeah.
Yeah. Then the next 30 minutes you guys are going to see after Summit, so you guys are going to know. No. Who do we got?
Summit
Mango, 9. Zane.
It's 9, right?
9. Yeah. H-Box.
There's a player announcement video. I haven't
Club,
watched it.
AMSA.
How do I see the total?
Yeah. Go to events. Melee singles. Just click on melee singles up in the. Well, there you go. Right here. Boom. You got it right there. There you go. We can read that list right there. And then, all right. I'll just start from the bottom. Zane, Leffen, Mango, AMSA, IBDW, Axe, Plup, Hacks Money, Wizrobe,
Whoa. Fiction,
Yeah.
Hungry Box, Shroom.
Hungry Box,
there's going to be
Shroom.
how many more?
5 more right above. Pricent.
Oh, they did get voted in.
They got voted in.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
they're ready.
13 plus 5 is what? 18?
18, which is a new number. I know. I've heard that
It
some
used to be
16.
16.
So they're experimenting, I heard, with a new sort of thing where they're going to have more singles matches, new format, because 18 is not an even bracket number the way 16 is. Yeah, so more melee singles, so I think more serious melee.
Cool.
Yeah,
It looks like a pretty badass lineup.
it does. Everyone here is definitely pretty good.
Yeah.
The people voted in are, I would say, all of them are pretty strong. Haven't seen much of Pricin in the U.S., but I did meet him when I went to Europe about a year and a half ago for Air. Definitely a good player. I could see him as being like a fat Goku, where it's like, he's good, very technical, very solid, and he's just waiting to have his breakout.
So what would you say is the story? Because the old Pantheon, there are only 2 players who are in Summit of the old 5, right?
Yeah.
That's not a large number. I think when it was 3, when it was 4, it's like the 5 gods are still more or less alive. It's just PPMD.
It's just PPMD.
But then Armada's out, and now Mewtwo King, is...
So for me, I think of the Pantheon of gods as, like, I think Leffen clearly just belongs in that.
Oh, hang on. I'm going to stop you right there, Toph. Let's not try to rebuild what we had before, but new and better. So let's not ask that question just yet.
Okay.
In other words, in 2013, when we just asked the question of what is going on.
What is going on?
And the answer was there's some Pantheon going on. And it's 5 homies, and they're beating everybody's ass. And that was the story.
Yeah.
But let's not assume that the new story is that there's an echelon.
There's got to be a, right. So let's, okay.
What is the new
story?
story?
Let's just take it from scratch. Okay.
You've got Hungry Box, who has gone to the top and now is even still a Thanos kind of figure. Questionable
H-Box
whether
is definitely every single tournament. It's
right?
always, whether you like it or not, the story is
Here's
always.
the question.
H-Box is always the question, yeah. It's
We
been
live
that
in
way
an
for the
era
last couple
of the
majors.
hungry box question.
We do. Even when he's not in grand finals.
It's true.
Even Big House, there's kind of this thing in the back of your mind. Mango's win at Big House felt more legitimate to me because to do it, he had to beat H-Box on the way.
No question.
If you, like, I'm sorry or whatever, maybe this is subjective, but I think if you win a big tournament and you didn't have to beat H-Box, like someone else knocked H-Box out for you, it almost feels like there's a little bit of an asterisk on it. And I mean that with like utmost respect.
For anybody who's won a tournament without beating H-Box, yeah,
it's
for
very,
sure.
very difficult. But you know what I mean, where it's like the guy that like people pop off when
You
H-Box
didn't
gets
answer
knocked
the
out.
question.
IBDW knocks right.
You didn't answer the hungry box question.
So
there's a litmus test right there. That's interesting.
yeah,
Mango has been on a roller coaster. I think that
He's
the
been
story of
playing.
Zane, the story of Leffen are, these are, and then they're friends, so that's nice.
yeah. Mango, Leffen, and Zane all kind of homies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mango Leffen.
You remember what he said? Where he
I
was?
believe you.
Remember what they're? Yeah, like they're homies in that sort of way. You know what I mean? Mango was talking about how he was playing friendlies with.
Yes,
Zane,
I
right?
do
And then
remember.
Leffen came up.
I do remember. They're a
and
goon
Leffen's-
squad. They're a goon squad.
They're a good squad. Yeah.
You tell
yeah,
that story. That
you
was
know
so.
what
I wish
yeah.
Mango was here to tell it. So it was super
I
funny.
think it was Mango and Zane. Yeah, I wish
Mango and
was
Zane
here
were
still.
playing friendlies.
And then Leffen, like, I think Mango had gotten knocked out already or something. I think Leffen wanted to warm up or something. Because I think Mango didn't do good at this tournament, right? So I think Mango's kind of just playing friendlies with Zane just to play with him.
Yeah.
And I think Leffen came over or something. And I think Leffen was like, all right, so you guys play one more and then, we should go get food or something.
Yeah.
You know.
It was something about like you guys need to stop
You
playing.
guys need
Melee.
to stop playing after this or whatever. And then
Mango
You
said
tell the
like
rest of it.
he
I
was
don't
like, no,
Yeah, he was-
I'm not gonna stop playing Melee. I'm having a good time. What about you, Zane? Do you
Yeah.
want to stop playing? And Zane was like, no.
And then Mango
And then Mango's
said,
kind of calling Leffen on it, like, you got nothing else to do.
yeah, like he's like, because we're your only
Where's
friends
your
here.
leverage, dude? Yeah.
Yeah, he said, we're your only friends here. And Leffen, like, tried to not,
He said he cracked up.
He cracked up.
Zane cracked up. He just got called so hard and
Yeah.
he had no more chips.
he had no more chips.
So all right, so then
Yeah.
they're a little goon squad.
They're a little goon squad.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
cool.
They're a little goon squad.
Zane came in as a dock kid. This is the legend of Zane, right?
Yeah, came in as a dock kid.
He's a self-proclaimed dock kid. It must
Yeah.
be true.
Must be true. You don't
Now
usually claim
the Genesis champion of the world.
Now the Genesis champion, which is insane.
Wild. So that's really, I think, important and meaningful because Leffen was around when I was around, 07, 08, 09.
Yeah, he was
wasn't
around.
a super top player, but he was around. Zane is a dock kid. That's a big deal.
Yeah, Leffen's way more old school than Zane.
I also had this feeling of, okay, so there's the story of those at the top. There's also the story of the community at large. And I almost feel that we're kind of, we may have been in an era of the gods, an era of religion, an era of mythology, but we're kind of in a new era of science.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of needs to be discussed. We've dug deep into the game and its code. We've refined things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're not like worshiping at the foot. There's no more alchemy, right? If we see gold, we know how it got there.
Yeah.
There used to be some mystical shit. Gold will
Yes.
come out of, silver and some prayers.
yeah.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
We know what gold is. We
We've
do
done
not
the
get
science.
fooled.
Right.
So we are in this era of refinement and some infrastructure, right? I think there's something there.
Yeah.
A new world.
It feels like there's. I'll put it to you this way. I feel like if you're, I feel like it used to be that the god, like the god players were here, and then there was a big tapering off. It was like this. But I feel like the curve is very steady now, all the way to the top.
Yeah.
In the middle, you've got, two players that are also little baby question marks in and of themselves are, I think, Axe and Wizrobe, where they were ranked, I think, in the top 5 at the end of your rankings. They're both in attendance. Wizzy got ranked. He got sponsored by Team Envy, big esports team, and kind of fell off the face of the planet for a little bit.
He did.
Kind of didn't go to anything for a while.
And entered the 2 tournaments I commentated, Big House and
Genesis. Did not do
I did
particularly
not see
well.
him. Yeah.
Did not do well at Genesis, I think.
I think he did worse at Big House.
Did he?
I think so. I think it was 17th-ish.
17th. I think that's what he got at Genesis too. So, I think he lost to Face Roll and Ryobeat. Two good players, but not top 5 in the world performance. Axe also not doing well at Genesis. Also with a
He
bit
felt
of,
super bad about it. Don't feel
felt
bad
super
about
bad
it,
about it.
Axe.
Don't feel bad about
We
it.
love you, dude. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to prove
but
anything to
you
anybody,
don't-
homie.
You don't have
You
to prove
really
anything.
don't.
You really don't. I almost feel like it's so silly that I'm like, well, you won Summit. You're so
Well,
good.
and you know what I hear? I think
And you
that
know what's tough?
he's just real hard on himself, man.
He's hard on himself.
It's not. It is silly in one sense, and in another sense, my heart goes out to the guy.
That's what I mean.
right. I know how hard you work.
I know.
Rest easy, my man. Your value to us is not in question. This fool got so good with Pikachu.
Pikachu. Of all
Come
characters.
on, man.
Come on, man.
Anyway,
Yeah, no, it's yeah, he should be hard on himself. He
you have to in some sense, right? But you could be hard on yourself as a player, but don't. My hope would be that you can be a little bit generous with yourself as a person and a community member.
Totally.
You could be a little bit generous on it. You could be as hard on yourself as a player as you want,
right.
but just stay at that level because that's the appropriate level in my
That's the
opinion.
appropriate level, yeah. Side note, something that I think is sort of interesting there, for all of the, talk about Zane's rise to, Genesis champ and all that stuff, Zane's still never beaten X. So there's a bit of a, I think Zane is more likely to run into X at
What do you mean never? Is that actually true?
never.
That's true?
It's true. He's never beaten him. So
You would know. I just feel that I said to Mango at Buddha Bar, I was like, well, what about Axe? I don't think Zane could beat Axe. And he was like, nah. Well, what Mango was saying.
Mango was
yeah.
saying is that saying that Zane has never beaten X, but Zane totally could, which I agree. I mean, every
was
time they play,
close.
it goes to game 5.
Yeah.
It's close. I
think we watched main
easily
stage.
Could.
Main stage,
Main
I think
stage.
Zane got tossed.
I think main stage he didn't do so well. Yeah, but
and then I heard that I
it's
didn't watch.
usually
Yeah,
close.
it was
I
close.
totally believe that Zane can do it, but he's got to do it. And I think he's more likely to run into Axe at between group stages.
Summit, no question.
Between group stages and the main bracket,
There's a lot of cross-pollination.
Yeah, you're very likely to play your tough opponents. So I think there's a bit of a, a bit of potential there for Axe to make a upset, but not really.
Yeah. So and then you got some character diversity, right? The reinvigoration, or there's some of this Age of Science has brought some additional characters into the fore, right? People who
Yeah.
worked really, really hard. Even Zane
Even
beating
Zane
HBox,
with Marth.
something I never thought would happen. Right?
Right.
It's like there's something going on where the impossible has become possible again.
Yeah.
There were things that I thought was impossible that I'd never see. Wizrobe winning a tournament with significant number of gods in attendance with Captain Falcon. I never thought that would ever happen.
Yeah, none beating first Jason and then Mango.
Beating Mango, yeah.
Yeah.
Never thought that I would see that. And I never thought I would see a Marth beat Hungrybox Puff ever in my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
So there's character diversity.
Yep.
There's the tooling that we have.
Yep.
I think there's also a growing awareness of the different things required to be good. Like mental game. We know about mental game. 5 years ago, we talked about mental game at the top levels, but I think it's something that comes up more and that people are more aware of. Like we're kind of, it may almost be some kind of like spiritual,
People
there's
are
some kind of
largely
spiritual self-discovery thing. There's some refinement thing going on.
Yeah, people are largely, I think, better at it. I think most people are better at it. People used to, I don't know if you guys remember, when Leffen used to have a tweet at the ready practically every time he got knocked out of a tournament. Most players used to be way worse about mentality and about how to keep your head in the game than they are now. I think they've all gotten a lot better at it. So, and it's almost like, and you cannot, and I think it's good, by the way, for the health of the game, because I think that a lot of player burnout used to be a direct result of people being hard on themselves in all the wrong ways. And I think largely most people are a lot better about it now. And I think it's because, our average age has gone up, people have gotten more mature, so on and so forth. Yeah, and people talk about it more readily because I think people have had more time to experiment with their. Yeah, and even they even are better at picking apart mentality weaknesses in other players. Like I've seen people say that like for example with IBDW, and I think IBDW also knows it, right? That like at the last summit, he had a big revelation. I think it was the last summit where he had a big revelation where it's like, oh, he went 0-3 in the pools. And then obviously he had a monster run in bracket. And we kept telling him at the venue, like, hey man, like, yeah, it sucks that you like lost to those players or whatever, but like, bracket is bracket. Like the pools were just for seeding. You can totally beat, like you can go on a run in the bracket. It could totally happen. And then it did. And then like, lo and behold, right? And then he was telling us like, oh, you guys were right.
Oh.
He was so down on himself
after
pools, but then it's like, mental reset, brand new day. And he was like, yeah, like that was a lesson for me. So I think there's like, and IBDW, one of the players that I think has come into the top 10 the most recently, I suppose. So he's going to be taking lessons like that, that people like Leffen and Mango have kind of already known for years. Yeah, mental has gotten a lot better.
Yeah, I'm getting thoughts about responsibility or intentionality.
Yep.
Kind of in this era of being a little bit more intentional. Maybe we slacked off a little bit for a little while there, but things are getting tight.
Yeah.
We've even been talking about content and making that a little bit tighter.
Yeah, more intentional.
And intentionality.
I like that.
There's something happening. There's a reset in 2020. It does feel like there's a bit of a reset. I even felt it myself at Genesis. I felt that it was important to wipe the slate clean on the expectations, the old expectations, and just kind of be there and see what unfolds.
Yeah.
Because if I keep expecting the old stories to play out, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Even
That's
when I
right.
sit down and play the game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true.
Here's the question we need to answer. What are we pushing the reset button on? That's the question we need to answer. Because it is true that we are now in a new chapter and no one knows what's going to be written. But what page did we turn? What chapter did we close? Because it wasn't the chapter of the five gods. That chapter done been closed. What happened in those intervening chapters? We need to excavate that and bring it into awareness. That's our job. Will you stick around for more? Will you listen to our story? I feel like we need an FFX opening, dude. Listen to my story.
Oh, dude.
You may be my our last chance, whatever he says.
It's so
Maybe
hype.
my only hope. I've listened to that 2 billion times, that line. I can't believe I don't remember it. Hang on.
With Tuzatican playing.
Yeah, he's like, listen to my story.
Oh, he says it like that.
What's the next line?
I should know. It's dude. Fucking. My girlfriend's been playing Final Fantasy X, and it's really funny. She's playing on the Switch, and it's kind of hard to figure out how to skip that. She was asking me like, "How come I have to watch this every time?" I'm like,
Watch it.
You have to press the plus button on the Switch controller, which it's not obvious that's a start button.
No, it's not.
It's not. I was like, try pressing buttons on the Switch controller.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is all to say that I watched that whole scene like yesterday. I don't know. Something like
I think it's You May Be Our Last Chance, I think, but we're going to look it up. We'll be right back. And for those of you who are watching on YouTube, Smash Summit, baby. Check it out. Thursday. It's on twitch.tv/BTS Smash. It's going to be crazy. We're going to be there. Yeah. I honestly can't wait. Nun and I I wrote he apologized to me in a very beautiful video where he really acknowledged, I don't know why you're laughing. I mean, I felt like what he really said was that he really respects me deeply and he cares about me and he recognizes my position as a forefather, And I said, thank you so much over Twitter, and I can't wait to see him because we've kind of had a little bit of tension. Now we get to come together in union, so be sure to look out for that. Watch for Nun's tweets as he talks about it.
That's exciting.
And yeah, in general, that is going to be, I think in a large part, it's not the answer to the question that we're asking over this number of hours by any stretch. It's just going to be the second major entry. But this is going to be a major entry. find out what happens with us. And we'll see you soon. I'm super stoked for Summit.
Ah, so hype. Yeah,
Summit's gonna be dope,
it's
dude.
gonna be dope.